Dancing on Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
The perspective. We lose the measurement of what is still right.
Matter of urgent public importance, Madam Speaker.
Before that, I have an announcement to make. Honorable members, the House will recall that debate on the motion of thanks to the President's special address commenced on 15th March 2022 in accordance with Standing Order number 20 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders for 2021. The debate lasts for 10 days. Sitting days. Therefore, the last day for debating the motion is Thursday, 31st March 2022. In this regard, by practice, the last 3 days are reserved for the executive to debate and respond to the issues raised by the backbench. This means that starting from Tuesday, 29th March 2022, priority will be given to the honorable ministers to debate the motion before it's wound up on Thursday, 31st March 2022. I thank you.
Not about yourself. And again, that is the other problem, you know, that many times what we call prayer.
There is an order of
self-praise. Yeah, it's self-praise, and it's actually horrible to God. You know, I mean, like there were times when
matter of urgent public importance. I saw the honorable member for Ron. What is the matter of urgent public importance?
I don't want to have this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Ron this opportunity to raise on a matter of urgent public importance. Madam Speaker, the matter I wish to raise is directed to Her Honor, the Vice President, and it is pursuant to our standing orders on 134.
Even in today's
Madam Speaker, from the time the conflicts broke out in Russia and Ukraine,
to God and in the list,
I want to put it on record
so many things that are
to congratulate the government for successfully
give people
evacuating the nationals
themselves
who were in Ukraine, especially the Zambian students, safely back home. Madam Speaker, through you, I was in my constituency over the weekend, the last weekend, where I was accosted by two parents
that God has anointed.
who have got children pursuing various disciplines in Russia,
Relationship with
namely in the towns of Moscow and St. Petersburg.
about ourselves, like
Madam Speaker,
the Pharisees
it is coming out that
to himself,
the effects or the sanctions that are being slapped on Russia
good things that he
are having an effect
of course
on the ordinary people that are in that country.
God would sit and clap
Your Honor, the Vice President,
but
these parents brought it to their attention that they are unable to send logistics such as resources or monies to their children in Moscow and St. Petersburg because they cannot receive or they cannot use their visa cards anymore.
in the light of
They are not even able to jump on buses using cards. And the children are worried and crying that very soon, once they run out of the pocket money that they have currently, they may end up starving to death or becoming destitutes in that country. Your Honor, the Vice President, what is government doing to ensure that these students who have been affected by these sanctions does not starve to death because they are unable to receive monies from their parents in the sense that their cards can no longer work in that country? Madam Speaker, I seek your guidance. I thank you.
Who could be struggling with this issue?
Thank
Here
you.
is this Pharisee sitting there asking, how do I get over
Okay.
myself
It seems we don't have any more.
struggling with it?
Well,
well, I think
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
I would say if somebody comes to that recognition,
may I
how
just
do I
answer
get
this
over,
since it seems to be the
self-righteousness,
only
then
one?
already
Thank
there's
you.
great hope. Okay, he has already
Although you have
halfway
directed
down
this
one
to Her
level,
Honor the Vice
more.
President,
The problem is that
I
most
feel
people
the
who are very
person who
self-righteous,
can
they
handle
don't
this
see
matter
themselves
is the Minister
They
of
don't
Foreign
think
Affairs.
they have a need to humble
And
themselves.
truly, there is some
But if
agency in
somebody
that
has got
matter.
that problem and realizes,
There are
I
some
need to
people
change,
that are
he
stranded in a
first of all
foreign
needs
land.
to find
Therefore,
people
I would
to
direct
surround
this
himself with
matter
who are down to earth, not
to
people who are
the
trying
Minister of Foreign
always be
Affairs
better than
so
the
that
others,
he can come to
but
this
people who
House
are willing to
and update us
just
on what
give
he
him
has
the
done
kind
so
of
far
guidance and
or what
correction
he
that
needs to
requires.
do over the children
it's
that
very
are
difficult
affected by the
to
sanctions
somebody
that are
who knows
imposed
everything better.
in Russia.
How do you
I thank you so
explain to
much.
somebody who says, "I've got all
There is
the
a point of order
you
that
may
has
not
been
say that,
raised
but
by the
in reality,
Honorable
many
Minister
people
of
behave like
Justice.
that.
Okay.
For giving me this opportunity to raise this pointing
In the life
of this August House
Bible tells us
made by the Speaker
learn
on
not just look at our own interest.
the specific date, Madam Speaker, is the 7th
Look at the interest
of December 2021.
You know, this is
Madam Speaker, the record will show that in her ruling of that date, the Right Honorable Speaker of this House
there's another nation who would have
made a determination
taken
to the effect that honorable members whose seats had been nullified will only return. Madam Speaker, the record will also show principle of exclusive cognizance, which this House has previously had occasion to pronounce itself upon in the 12th Assembly and before, is clear that the provisions
others are
that determine
they're not
the processes and procedures of this House are
in line.
exclusive to the House.
My side.
In that regard, Madam Speaker, and given those facts very briefly, in the absence of
This is
the order of Madam Speaker having been vacated,
who always want
it still remains valid. Is it in order for the Honorable Member for Kasama to be in the House
speak to
in
them
those
and ask them
circumstances. I
what
seek your
happened.
serious
You
ruling.
know,
Thank you,
the
Madam
example
Speaker.
is Adam, because Adam was given
Thank
the
you so much
instructions
for
loud and
that
clear.
point of order.
And then immediately he began
Honorable
to
member,
point to his
members, what I
spouse.
can say is that I'm
She
going
said
to
she's the
reserve
one
my
who
ruling.
has done
This is a
that. Okay,
constitutional
and when
matter.
God spoke to
To
Eve,
enable
she
me
also
study
pointed
the
it in a
matter,
finger. No, it was not
I
me,
thank you.
it was the serpent.
However,
So,
before we
this
proceed,
has
honorable
continued up
members,
to today. We
the
are
points of
always
orders
glued
are
to
raised
blame others
at
for
an
our own
appropriate time.
calamities. And
That
you know,
is
as
when
long
a
as we do
member
that,
is on the
God
floor.
cannot help
Then a
us.
point of
You know,
order
I
can be
believe that
raised.
if
So
Adam would
with
have
that
said,
guide
you
in
told
mind,
me,
let's
I
do
have not
let's
listened,
do
I
the
have
right thing.
disobeyed, please
We
forgive me.
move on.
I think that then and there he would have been
I've
able
permitted
to
Her
but he
Honor the
didn't do
Vice
it. He just
President
shifted the blame. And
to
Eve
make
shifted
a
the blame.
ministerial
And the
statement.
poor serpent couldn't
Her
shift the
Honor
blame,
the
you know.
Vice
So
President.
the serpent was judged and was walking from then on, walking on the belly, and they're still doing it today. You know, that's why there's enmity between the serpents and us, you know, as human beings, because, you know, that crafty animal was used by the more crafty Satan himself, okay? So, you know, as long as we are shifting the blame, we cannot be helped. And that's why it is so important that only people
Madam Speaker,
who will repent, that means people
thank
who
you
come
for
out of the
according me
sins of
the
having
opportunity
failed
to
to
respond
live
to a
up to
point
the
of order
standards of God. People who
raised by
understand
Honorable
have not
Member
fulfilled
for Petauke Central.
the very requirements of
On
righteousness
16th
in
March
God. Those are
2022,
the people who find
the Honorable
sin.
Member for Petauke
So in other words,
Central
if I
raised a
humble
point of
myself,
order,
if I
and
confess
I
my
quote,
sin, you know, if I come like this tax collector did,
90% of the good
you know,
people of Petauke
he was
Central
an influential
constituents
person in
are farmers.
society. He had,
They depend on
he had no
farming
need
for
for
their
him to
staple
go
food,
to the temple and
which is
pray
in
like that.
Shima.
But he came to a point in his
However,
life where he
this is
realized,
when they
I
are
think my life
getting
is not
top-dressing
today, it's not now.
fertilizer,
And
which
then
is
he
urea.
was ready to humble himself,
Every
go to the
year, the
temple.
small-scale
So
farmers
even in the
keep
face of those
maize for
guys
food,
who were
which
always
is
at the,
meal,
at the front end,
up
you
to
know,
February
and says, how
and
am
the
I going
first
to
week
qualify
of
when
March.
all these people,
The
you know,
first week
are
of
having all the
March
limelight
is
of God?
now over,
But
and
God
so
saw this man.
they do not
God
have
was
food
inclined for
because we
gifting this
received
man
the
what he
rains
was
very
asking
late
for. And he
due to
received the
climate
blessing. And
change.
Jesus said, this
Therefore,
man went
the
home
good people of
justified
Petauke are
because he
asking the
lived by
working
the
New Dawn
faith
government
that God
to
picked him
provide
from what he
them
didn't have.
relief food
Okay?
to
That's why the
cushion
Bible
them
says the righteous
from
shall
the
live
impact of
by
the hunger
faith and
situation.
not by sight. Okay? The
End
other
of
man,
quote.
he was not living by
In
faith, he was living
responding
by
to the point of
souls.
order,
Okay?
I would
He
like
had
to
everything that
do
he
this in
thought
three parts
was
and three
required in the
different
presence
parts
of God,
as the
but
question
God was
was
not
put.
interested in everything
The
that he
first
was
part, the
displaying.
honorable
The
member
man that humbled himself
talks
was
of
able to find
receiving
mercy that he was asking for. And he was
top-dressing
displaying faith.
fertilizer to maize, late application of top dressing to maize because fertilizer was taken to
Righteous,
other
okay?
areas
That is the powerful
or it
thing.
was
You know,
received late.
God gives us righteousness
It
freely.
is
Faith
unfortunate,
does not
Madam
come
Speaker,
by what we can
that
accomplish
fertilizer
and achieve with
is
our
truly
hands or
being
with our
delivered
minds or
late,
by being
and the
superior
people of
about anybody
Petauke
else.
are therefore
But
applying this
faith
late.
comes by our
But
faith
it is
in Christ,
important
our faith in
that
the living God to
the
give us
truth is
mercy
told all
and
the
grace.
time so that
Man,
Zambians
what
understand the situation in which we are in. Let me state that no fertilizer was taken
went
to
home
any other
justified
places.
because
It is
he
important to
expected
remind the
everything
House that
that he
fertilizer
couldn't,
for
show off.
2021 was
He expected it
procured
from the
or
living
said
God.
to have been procured and paid
We are
for
live on Facebook
by
as well as on
the previous
TikTok as
administration
well as
of the
Movement
Patriotic Front
page discussing the
party.
to the righteous.
It is important to note that the fertilizer was not delivered, even though in some cases it was fully paid for. This is the fertilizer which has caused a shortfall in Eastern Province and some other provinces. I wish to inform the House that the undesirable situation in Petauke, whereby farmers are only applying top-dressing fertilizer now, is not a reflection of failure on the part of the New Dawn government. The previous administration should be the ones to answer for this, because a contract was given, money was paid, fertilizer for Eastern Province, Petauke in particular, was not fully delivered. The second point of the question, the honorable member asked for relief food for the people of Petauke because of both lack of top dressing and the drought or dry spell, which has caused the maize to start wilting. Madam Speaker, this, according to the honorable member, necessitated the need for relief food. Honorable members may wish to know that the wilting of the maize this season cannot be the reason for relief. The food that our people are currently consuming is from the crop of the last season. It is therefore important for the honorable member to know that it is a duty of every person to ensure that there is food security at household level. The honorable member may wish to know that in 2020-2021 season, Petauke Central received sufficient rains and had therefore a good harvest. Petauke Central alone sold 15,667.4 metric tons of maize to the Food Reserve Agency. This shows that small-scale farmers in Petauke produced more than enough, some of which should have been stored for use as we go forward to the next farming season. These small-scale farmers should be encouraged to store enough for the whole year. The third point is on culture to encourage hard work. Madam Speaker, hard work amongst our people, especially small-scale farmers, must be encouraged. It is therefore unfortunate that the honorable member even created a timeline for delivery of relief food when there was no disaster. This does not help his constituents or any constituents, because the people there resort to an unnecessary dependence on government, which robs them and the rest of the country of other developmental programs. As leaders, we should encourage the spirit of hard work and planning. However, the honorable member can raise the issue, for example, in Petauke, of washaway crossing points, like at Mukungwe, as a legitimate concern, and indeed government will listen and act. There was no disaster in Petauke to warrant any relief food to be provided. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
We have always heard.
Thank you.
Now very advanced. We have now come to a certain position. I remember, I cannot stop.
Honorable members are now free to ask questions on points of clarification on the ministerial statement given by her Honor the Vice President.
She was very well-meaning. She came
The
from
Honorable
background
Member for
through
Ron.
the Second World War, which was terrible.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Your Honor, the Vice President, for
She was
that clarification.
our history teacher. And she
Your Honor, the Vice President, in your statement,
in the past.
you stated that government paid the suppliers to deliver the fertilizer, which fertilizer hasn't been delivered or has been delivered late.
Somebody wanted to take the
The current Republican President, Madam Speaker, is concerned about the procurement process, and he has stated 3 stages that we should look out for when we're procuring, especially to the responsible officers. Your Honor, the Vice President, is it going to be the normal tendency of the New Dawn government also to continue paying suppliers well in advance, who, in such instances, may also fail to supply the most required commodities such as fertilizer? Or what is it that your government is doing to ensure that everyone who is contracted to supply to government supplies and adheres to the terms and conditions of the contract? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
to
Thank
whom
you,
I
Our
worked
Honor,
in
the
Burundi,
Vice
like,
President.
in 1969. Yes, we didn't have computers like we have today. Yes, we
Madam Speaker, I thank you for the question asked by the
honourable
Honourable Member for Ron, who wants to know whether the culture of people being contracted
Actually, you can look at the whole
to
world. If you
supply
Google Earth
or
on your
to
phone,
do works
you can actually
indeed
see what is happening
to
they're fighting.
deliver,
So,
failure
yes,
to
we
deliver,
advanced.
failure to
The
deliver on
advancement
time,
did not change our
and
lives.
indeed it's
Okay,
cost
that is where the
effective.
problem is.
I think this
We
is,
cannot
has
expect
been made very clear, as the Honourable Members referred
by
to.
just talking
The
and
President has
nice.
made it clear.
Okay.
This is
They
the
will not
position of the
become
New
better.
Dawn
And you
government.
see this
We are
time
not
and
going to
again,
go that way.
you see
These
this
are
time
lessons
and
that
again.
we should learn from.
There are
When
these issues of
anybody
corruption
wants
where
to do
people
work with
clearly learn
government, we will
to
follow those three
universities, people have,
principles. We will not allow a situation where a company is contracted to supply and even gets paid way before the delivery.
nothing to do with
That
being
will not be
advanced.
allowed.
We are not
There
advanced.
is an
We know a
illegality
lot
in
of
that,
things
and
in our
therefore
parts
we will
about
not follow that way.
maybe
The New Dawn
not
government,
they are
you
not
want to
safe.
work with the New
And
Dawn
that is
government,
what
yes, you are welcome, you are a Zambian,
Jesus
but you
has
must
come to
do the
restore
right
so that we
thing,
have life,
not
we
to
have
bring
everything
inconvenience to the
abundance.
Zambian
But
people,
for that
because
to
that is
happen, we have
tantamount
to
to
humble
theft
ourselves
of
and we
public
have to
resources.
come
Thank you,
to
Madam.
our God as
Thank you, the
sinners.
Honourable Member for
Okay, we have to
Chipiri.
accept we have failed. We have
Thank
not lived
you,
up to the
Madam
right
Speaker,
standard of
and thank
God.
you, the Honour,
And
the
we
Vice
need to do
President.
what this
Uh,
tax
the
collector
Vice,
did.
Madam Speaker,
Must
the
have had
statement
a
is very
time when he
clear.
looked at his life,
The people or
his
the
ministry and
suppliers
says,
who were
I think I'm
paid
not living right.
but they
I don't
failed
want to
to
continue like this. Maybe
deliver.
at least go and ask God whether he can
Are these
take
suppliers staying in heaven
can give me mercy. And
or
that's
they
why
are within?
he had a,
Are you
he had a
still
very, very powerful
investigating
to
the
go
straight
to the
case
living God.
where you
And
can
has no
act?
reason
We
whatsoever.
want a serious
We
answer,
just
Madam
needed to
Speaker.
use it as a
Thank you.
platform for him to
Her Honour,
point
the
at
Vice
his own
President.
achievements, And God said, I don't want to hear that. I know you
I
better.
think
I know
we will
who
leave a
you
bit
really are
of
deep down
that to
in your heart.
the law
But this
enforcers.
man,
This is not for
this
investigation
tax
because it's a straightforward
who
matter,
we
like you
don't
have
know his
heard.
life.
I'm
We
sure
don't
there are
know what
talks.
wrong he
I'm
may have
sure
done
we
in
have
his
been
life. He
talking
was just an
for a
ordinary
long
human being. He
time.
may have
I
done
think
good
it
things,
brought
but he
out
may
many
definitely have
issues,
done some
but
bad
it is
things
not
too.
an issue
But
of
he
investigation.
realized,
When somebody fails
I'm
to
not living
deliver,
the way I should.
but
And he went
I think maybe we
to the
Africans, we
Lord.
still
He went
think
to the
they
temple at
should
that day. He wanted to
do
meet with
good.
God,
But
and
this
he
is
was
reality,
speaking
and it's not for
upright from
investigation.
his
There's
heart.
nothing hidden
Have
about
mercy
it.
on me.
They
And he
didn't
got it. He
bring
got
the
the mercy of
fertilizer
God.
that they
He got
claimed
home
they
and
had.
testified.
When it was followed,
What
there was no
about
fertilizer.
I fast
Thank you.
twice a week? I
Thank
give
you.
time.
The Honourable Member for Nyimba.
Really, do you really think I need your mandate?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, Your Honor, the Vice President.
Twice a week. So who
I've got
cares?
no doubt you are
It's not even written in the
uh,
Bible.
a lay due response to issues,
Just to tell me if your
and
heart
I
is not wrong
know
replace.
with these
Just
issues
tell me.
you attend to them. Madam Vice President, the last weekend, I think 4 days I've been in the constituency. From Nyimba to the other ward of Nyimba, I have to pass through Petauke Central and Msanzara to go back into Nyimba, because other roads are not passable. Madam, Your Honor, the state of our maize in these areas, the maize belt, what we call maize belt, where we get the maize we supply to people in Lusaka to eat. If you check the maize today, you'll be disappointed. The reason is very simple, because the time to apply top dressing is gone. The lanes have been pathetic. And my question, Your Honor, the Vice President, since we are anticipating anger, do you have any plans in the areas of Petauke? Because basically, Msanzara, Nyimba, it used to be Petauke, just been broken down. Do you have any plans to see to it that if the anger eaters as government, you move in and supplement, because we didn't have enough fertilizer? Because basically, you understand, we are not lazy people. We cultivate our own food. But in this case, do you have any plans to come up with a plan to save the situation if it unfolds? Thank you.
lift yourself up. This
Honor the
labels,
Vice
and you
President.
make sure that this label remains there. You know, when I get a suit which has...
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank you, the Honourable Member for Nimba,
It's not supposed to
for
be there.
bringing
It's
out
just
that
for
concern.
but people keep it.
Honourable Members, it is the duty of government to continue monitoring. Government is forever prepared to try and come through. It is the duty of government to ensure that none of its citizens starve for a reason that is not of their own. Yes, government, I think I made a statement here, Madam Speaker, that we will continue to monitor, because for us, even with the Minister of Agriculture, we have to assess the failure or indeed the success of the crop. At the end of April, we will know exactly where there may be food shortages and where the crop will do well. But we are still believing that we will have enough crop up to this moment. Therefore, if Petauke will really have a shortfall, not a created one, Honourable, where you say this is much, now, second week, start supplying, even if the crop has done well. That is the one we are saying that's not a disaster at all. It's lack of planning. But where there is real disaster, that is the duty of your government to come through. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Katashi.
For which you can boast about, but the law cannot make you righteous unless you manage to fulfill the whole of it. Okay, if you never fail on anyone, then you
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I'm righteous. But
And thank you, Your Honored Vice President, for that ministerial statement. The people of Kantanshi would want to find out from you, Your Honor, through the Speaker, if the government's assessment right now is that definitely there will be a crop failure because of the fact that the fertilizer companies that were contracted did not deliver or have not delivered the top dressing. Wouldn't it be prudent, Your Honor the Vice President, that the Ministry of Agriculture suspends the exportation of maize until such a time that you have accurate information in as far as our crop output? As you know, maize is our staple food and quite a political crop. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Her Honor the Vice President.
Or even the book of Galatians, you will see that.
Thank you, Honourable Member for Kantanshi. That is a genuine concern for any Zambian that is loving to the people. I will start by saying, as the government, we are aware of the amount of maize that we have in the country. We are aware of the maize in the reserve, in the Food Reserve Agency. We also are aware of the maize that is held by farmers. And we are very cautious because of the pattern of rains this year. We have had floods, we have had drought, dry spells. We have been very cautious, and we are cautious in the manner that we export. Because whatever we export, we first think of home. Are the people at home safe? Yes, Honourable Member, we are taking great care in the issue of exporting the maize. Until we see the crop that we are going to produce this year, then again another decision will be made as to how much. But I can assure the people, the maize stored now is enough to take us through. We should not have a problem of having hunger in our country due to lack of... Okay. Yeah, the minister is telling me we still have food for 14 months. So we can go beyond, the crop this year. People can start eating by May, basically. But we have still in stock for 14 months. So we are waiting to see how much can we restock and be able to export. And that's where we are going. We should work so hard through the Minister of Agriculture to ensure that we can become at least Zambians suppliers of food, even to other neighboring countries. But we take care. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Mukaika.
So you bring back to God what you have given. Fine. It's okay.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and Your Honor, thank you so much for the statement. My question is, I'm aware that there is a component of an insurance if the West comes to the West to visit program. How can our farmers be able to access or be compensated under this insurance so that at least they are paid something for the loss they will have? Thank you so much.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Okay, Ken came to try and find out how can I be accepted by God.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for that question, the issue of insurance. Yes, for those farmers under FISIP, there is insurance under a company called Polar when there is total failure due to failure by our program FISIP. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kasama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Your Honor, the Vice President. In your statement, you mentioned to say that funds were released for Eastern Province input. Then you further went on to say we should ask from the previous government. I would like you to guide on who should be asked in the previous government so that they are brought to book. Thank you.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Because he must have spent enough time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Except for one word, it makes a lot of difference. I didn't say ask. I didn't use that word, ask, the former, administration. I wouldn't say that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have taken responsibility, even as new dawn administration, to take over a lot of liability that was left. That's why we have worked very hard. What I was giving was history, that history should not be forgotten. Where did this problem come from? The issue of illegality and criminality, if any. Indeed, whether you have vacated office, your illegality will follow you. Your criminality will follow you. That's a different matter. But administratively, the government that takes over, we take over everything. We have done so much, even in the field of agriculture, including buying extra fertilizer for the people where it was not given, including buying maize, which was not catered for. That is new money we had to find through the new administration. So we are not pushing the back on the old. But criminality is criminality. That is a different matter. But we are responsible for this, the governing of this country. Thank you, Madam.
The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, the Vice President, for that ministerial statement. I think from her statement, it's clear that the PF government was very prudent and very proactive because they paid for this fertilizer, although this fertilizer has not been delivered. Madam Speaker, a government is a going concern. Therefore, whatever happened, I think it is on the shoulders of the new Dawn government. My question to Her Honor the Vice President is that you still have officials in the Ministry of Agriculture who are still working. Don't you think those can help to ensure that this matter is put to rest as quickly as possible? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Chama North. Who sees prudence in criminality? I am, Madam Speaker, personally disappointed from a statement made by the Honorable Member, whom I know very well, I can claim, to say that there was prudence for paying a contractor who was not supplied. And assuring people, and this is why people think this side, your right side, Madam, is the same as other people.
So when we begin,
people who were in office claimed that fertilizer had been purchased, it was going to be delivered by July. And truly, honorable member, this fertilizer was paid for in April.
Receive righteousness by faith.
And you call that prudence? You haven't seen the goods? Is that prudence? Honorable. Please.
Honorable members.
My honorable, I will repeat, we come a long way. I am surprised that this is prudence. Yes, anybody who was found wanting, I think it's recently that we saw people being arrested who were, or at least fired who were selling fertilizer. If you are caught up in this, please don't see it as political. We will not continue to use politics as an excuse for wrongdoing. Politics is service to the people. If you served your Zambians, your people well, nobody will harass you. If you did well, even God will be on your side. But if you did something wrong, why did you pay millions without seeing fertilizer? Honorable, this is very touching. It's very upsetting that people could behave in that manner. For us, you heard the honorable member of Ron refer to the 3 principles. That is how you do things, not supplying air. And you get money, you make profit. Even if you were to supply, after you have been paid, you supply 6 months later, what were you doing with the money? And it was not part of the contract. This is a scam. We should call it that way. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. The honorable member for Matero.
Pastor, thank you so much. Thank you. Indeed, we have been discussing the righteousness.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
By faith.
And the Vice President, the statement well noted on Petaoke. My question is, given the conundrum or the problem or the circumstances in Petaoke around the fertilizer, for a minute, forgetting who caused the problem, was the fertilizer bought by Alpha Commodity a solution to have helped the people of Petaoke? And given the scenario as is now, fertilizer issue in Petaoke, late delivery, are you foreseeing a Zambia in the next 6 months where there will be maize shortage, meal price will go up, and we might be importing maize? I thank you, Madam Vice President.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Acknowledge your weaknesses, and ask God.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I've already assured the Zambians that as far as the stock we have now, we can go up to next year, April, if we don't export. And we don't intend to export carelessly. I think I made that statement. So the honorable member should not have such a fear. He brings in the purchase of fertilizer by Alpha. I am failing to connect myself. I like to tell the story to the honorable member who has asked the question and throw him to the House. The issue of Alpha should be taken in context. Alpha, like other companies, was one of those contracted by government last year before the new dawn. And the delivery of the goods was so bad, except Alpha did deliver. NCZ did deliver. I want Zambians to get it clear. And now when we were stuck, because we needed fertilizer to where, the minister made the statement here that we needed to give even those on e-voucher to go on direct input support. We had to look. This is November, ladies and honorable members. You were talking of November. You have run out of time. And there is no way you are going to start advertising and go through the processes. When we had a list of suppliers already contracted, Alpha had delivered, NCZ had delivered. So we had to look at who of these who had finished delivering could deliver. And we looked at NCZ. And NCZ was also given a contract. Except according to what they had, they could not fulfill the need that we had in the two. and cattle of Lusaka provinces. And therefore, Alpha, which had also performed, was given contract. And I don't know why the honorable member is talking of the purchase by Alpha. Alpha purchased the fertilizer. Yes, I'm aware that there was an issue of quality of some bags which were replaced. But as to the purchase, how does it affect the we may think because there were trucks of Alpha coming from the eastern, this was the fertilizer that was deviated. Honorable members, perhaps on the 9th floor in room 9 or call us on 0976 there is a vendor, a fertilizer vendor in Eastern Province who was selling fertilizer, including to other companies like Zambia. And Alpha found that as a source. And it had nothing to do with the fertilizer that was supposed to be supplied by others. You can follow the trail.
Amazing,
that's the way we wait.
Isn't it?
Thank you, Madam.
The zeal to want to grow, to become better and achieve greatness, to want to learn and expand in your profession. But wait a minute. You need a conducive environment that couches and supports your development. A place for growth, innovation, and change.
For that
one with instructors that have your best interests at heart
that you have given to the people
every lesson with exceptional standard education. An environment that your moral
I just wanted to find
and that
out
delivers
from
quality education
because
to groom you and set your potential so high to become an entrepreneur or join the workforce. Build you to be environmental cautious and facilitate its best practices. But that's not all. Need a clear runway with the best facilities to equip you in delivering the best quality health, grooming you to bring out the best in others. And we believe that the best meal and service you can deliver is a mixture of etiquette in reception and just a dash of courtesy. While you're at it, rejuvenate with a variety of sports and associations that build your skill and enhance your development. Because when you come to university, it's people meeting, learning from others, and at the end of the day, it is working together and building something bigger than ourselves. The good conversations, expressing and the relationships we establish. Are you ready for change? Because we are for you. Join us at Crystal University.
Me today that this policy
police presence at Munyombwe. Honorable Minister, I wanted to find out one of the challenges that our police officers are facing now is the issue of transport. And since you have indicated that currently you are considering projects that which are above 80% complete, are you able to help the police officers at Munyonge Police by even giving them a vehicle so that they can enhance their patrols to curb the vices that which the Honourable Member of Parliament for Sinazonge has alluded to? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I would like to repeat the statement I had made the other week, where I indicated that transport situation throughout the country in the police service is an emergency. There is no police station currently, Madam Speaker, that has adequate police vehicles. We, as the New Dawn government, are making arrangements to ensure that in due course we provide transport for all police stations in the country. That is a matter the government is seriously considering through the Minister of Finance. In due course, I will come back and inform the nation what we have done. At the moment, it's not possible for me to assure the House that I'll find a vehicle for Munyombe Police Station. But we are aware of the problems, Madam.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Chembe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honourable Minister,
Have you already engaged the stakeholders? That is to do with the chiefs, the headmen, to secure the land where this police post you are mentioning will be constructed. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the honourable member for that question. I would assure the House that land is readily available for the construction of a police post and further a police station in due course and the construction of police houses in Gwembe. Land is readily available.
The Honorable Member for Magoye.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Considering that it's important to construct a police station right at Munyumbwe, since the Civic Center and the Boma are domiciled right at Munyumbwe. Thank you very much.
I think the answers that were given by the minister, he was talking about Munyumbwe, constructing a police post at Munyumbwe. However, Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, Home Affairs and Internal Security, you can respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that intervention. I want to reconfirm that the government has plans to build a police post at Munyumbwe with 3 houses for police officers.
The Honorable Member for Matero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and Honorable Minister, the statement is noted, and indeed the people of Munyumbwe, it's good news that you are undertaking to give them a police post. All Zambians should feel secure and safe. My question is, can you guarantee that your undertaking on the floor of this House, when it will be implemented, given there are other undertakings that are still pending, like the Matero Zingarume police post? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I repeat B of my answers.
The Honorable Member for Chifubu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, as we talk now at Munyumbwe, where the police officers are squatting and the room where they are serving at the same time as a police post was constructed for a different purpose, and currently they are sleeping in the same room and it is also serving as a police post. So it's indeed unfortunate, particularly, Honorable Minister, the time has come for you because we said our colleagues never gave us the opportunity to serve and give the southern part the opportunity to have the facilities that government is supposed to give the people. And your time has come as Minister of Internal Security. What are you doing about this terrible situation in Munyumbwe? If possible, are you advising the honorable member to use part of the CDF to construct a police post there? I rest my case, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I indicated earlier, government has plans to construct a police post with auxiliary houses for police officers in Munyumbwe. I also take note the advice that has been given by the Honourable Member for Chifuvu that the Honourable Member of Parliament for Gwembe can also utilize CDF to supplement the efforts of government. After all, CDF funds are funds that are provided for by government.
Thank you. The last one, the Honorable Member for Mwembeshi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the responses. Minister, in one of your responses, responding to the Honorable Member for Momba, you said that the government is preparing to buy adequate vehicles for the police posts. Just like in Shibyunji, there is no vehicle. Are you considering to negotiate with the other relevant authorities so that the vehicles which have been abandoned by thieves in places like Lusaka, that these vehicles can be distributed to the various police posts, just like the money which was gotten from people who got ill money was given to the students at the university? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Mwembeshi for that question and intervention. I would like to state that after all the processes and procedures are complied with, and if there will be no challenges pertaining to the vehicles that we have seized and they are available to the government of the Republic of Zambia, we shall make available some of those vehicles to the Zambia Police Service.
Thank you. The clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The Emoluments Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2022, second reading.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? Her Honor the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Act number 2 of 2016 under Article 232 established the Emoluments Commission with the mandates of determining the recommendation of a relevant authority or commission, the emoluments of public officers, chiefs, and members of House of Chiefs as provided for in this Constitution or as prescribed. Further, Articles 264, Clause 1, 2, and 3 are instructive as follows. 1. A public officer, chief, and member of the House of Chiefs shall be paid such emoluments as recommended by the relevant authority or commission and determined by the Emoluments Commission. 2. The emoluments of a state officer, councillor, constitution office holder, and a judge shall be determined by the Emoluments Commission as prescribed. 3. The emoluments of a person holding office, chief, and members of the House of Chiefs shall not be altered to the disadvantage of that person during the person's tenure of office. Madam, the establishment of the Emoluments Commission is a recognition of the fact that the remuneration system, that is salaries, allowances, benefits, emoluments, and compensation in the public service is characterized by serious inconsistencies, variations, huge distortions, and disparities in salaries, quality and conditions of service, and job grade structures in state organs and state institutions. In a number of cases, pay does not reflect the level of responsibilities, productivity, performance, equity, fairness, capacity to pay, and sustainability. Madam Speaker, while the definitions of the chief and member of the House of Chiefs state officer, councillor, constitution office holder, and a judge are very clear. The Constitution under Article 266 defines public officer to mean a person holding or acting in a public office. A charge on the consolidated fund or other prescribed public fund and in the state office, constitutional office, and an office in the public service, including that of a member of a commission. Madam Speaker, while consolidated fund entails the treasury, prescribed public fund is defined in the Public Finance Act 2018 to mean those funds received electronically or in any other form in person through the bank or any other financial institution on behalf of the central or local government by the office holder by virtue of the office holder's employment and includes public monies. The Act defines public monies to mean money received by an office holder electronically or in any other form in the course of the office holder's employment or any other person directly or indirectly for the purpose of the central or local government and includes all stores, stamps, negotiable instruments, bonds, debentures, investments, donations, and other securities raised or received by or on behalf of or for the benefit of the Republic. The definition of public office also includes all institutions whose emoluments or expenses are a charge on other prescribed public fund. The Constitution defines prescribed to mean provided for in an Act of Parliament, and the Public Finance Management Act 2018 prescribes public funds. Therefore, any institution that was created by statutes or where government has a controlling interest receives money for or on behalf of or for the benefit of the Republic of Zambia is adequately covered under this Constitution once the law is read in totality and not in isolation. Further, the Constitution gives a definition of emoluments to include salaries, allowances, benefits, and rights that form an individual's remuneration for services rendered, including pension benefits or other benefits on retirement. Madam Speaker, the Emoluments Commission Bill has been submitted to this House to operationalize an independent Emoluments Commission that will provide for a harmonized and unified framework to govern the determination and management of emoluments for chiefs and officers in a state organ and state institution and eradicate wage discrepancies among chiefs and officers in a state organ and state institution. Madam Speaker, most countries have now established independent institutions in salaries administration to align to international best practices. Notable African countries that have established successful independent institutions in emoluments management include South Africa, Namibia, Kenya, Ghana, and Papua New Guinea. Elsewhere, Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago, El Salvador, France, and Ireland, among others, have well-functioning independent institutions. This has led to the objective determination of salaries and conditions of service in the public service. while taking into account macroeconomic conditions, fiscal availability, and the competitiveness of public sector wages relative to those in the private sector. Madam Speaker, the operationalization of the Emoluments Commission will facilitate equitable and fair remuneration, reward performance and productivity, enable public institutions to attract and retain requisite skills, and enable government to pay equal pay to persons for work of equal value. Additionally, the operationalization of the Emoluments Commission will, among others, ensure a consistent, comprehensive, and systematic approach to the determination of emoluments of chiefs and officers in a state organ and state institution. Madam Speaker, the bill is a progressive move to resolve the long problem on the management of emoluments in the Zambian government. I therefore urge the members of this august House to support it. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any further debate? The chairperson of the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, the Honorable Member for Mapatizia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in accordance with its terms of reference as provided for in the National Assembly Standing Orders number 198, the committee was tasked to scrutinize the Emolument Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2022. Madam, let me state from the outset that the Emolument Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2022 seeks to provide for a harmonized framework to govern the determination and the management of emoluments of chiefs and officers in state organs and state institutions. Let me also state that the committee is in support of the bill. Madam Speaker, in supporting the bill, the committee makes the following observations and recommendations. With regards to Clause 5, the committee notes that having an institution that falls under the executive, such as the Emolument Commission, determining the emoluments due to members of parliament, judges, and public officers in the judiciary and legislature, goes against the doctrine of separation of powers, which provides that no single arm of government should have control over the others. The doctrine requires that each arm of government is separate and independent. Such independence includes financial autonomy and the power to determine the emoluments due to its officers. In this regard, the committee recommends that the judiciary and legislature should be excluded from the bill to ensure financial autonomy, as well as to enhance their independence and separation of powers. Madam Speaker, under the same clause, the committee also notes that the functions of the Emoluments Commission provided for under Clause 5, 2C and D do in fact ensure equity and fairness by harmonizing salaries for similar state institutions. However, it will be necessary to clearly define parameters of harmonization, as not all state institutions are the same. Harmonization will therefore require the consideration of the industry's baselines in order to ensure that state institutions are competitive enough to attract and retain the best talent within the industry. The committee therefore recommends that the government should ensure that the parameters of harmonization are clearly defined and that industry baselines are taken into consideration during the harmonization process. This will enable the boards of state institutions to determine the adjustments needed in the remuneration structure in order to remain attractive and employers of choice. Last but not the least, the committee notes that the determination of conditions of service in institutions that do not draw funds from consolidated funds has the potential to create red tape and mount layers of approval processes, leading to loss of talent in institutions. Further, it will also result in attempt to make comparison between institutions that should not be compared. The committee therefore recommends that the power to determine conditions of service in institutions that do not draw from the consolidated fund should not be vested in the Emoluments Commission. This will also prevent attempts to make comparisons between the offsets that should not be compared. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, allow me to place on record my sincere thanks to all the stakeholders who appeared before the committee and made submissions on the bill. I also wish to thank you and the Office of the Clerk for the guidance and the support rendered to the committee during the consideration of the bill. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Any further debate? Okay. Her Honor, the Vice President, wind up debate. Oh. Minister of Justice, you can go ahead.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to debate the Emoluments Bill. Madam Speaker, Article 232 of the Constitution of Zambia, as amended, provides for the establishment of the Emoluments Commission and mandates the Commission, on the recommendation of the relevant authority or commission, to determine the emoluments of public officers, chiefs, and members of the House of Chiefs. This is buttressed by Article 264 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, which further mandates the Commission to determine the emoluments of a state officer, councillor, constitutional office holder, and a judge. Madam Speaker, the objectives of the bill have already been outlined. And it is important, however, for us to give a historical perspective of where we are coming from in order to underline the relevance of the Emoluments Commission, which is intended to be created by the bill. Over the years, a number of efforts by previous governments have been made to rationalize emoluments in public institutions, and these efforts have influenced recent interventions on the determination of emoluments in the public service. Madam Speaker. Some of the efforts include the following. Between 1993 and 2011, government appointed an ad hoc committees and implemented piecemeal measures to address pay and incentive challenges. An adoption of a medium-term pay reform strategy, which was the first step towards the formulation of a pay policy. And the strategy provided for broad policy options, established links to major parameters of the policy, and identified principles upon which the policy would be built. Other reviews were undertaken, but Madam Speaker, this Honourable House will note that the aforementioned government efforts did not yield the desired results due to the lack of an independent body to ensure that the implementation of the measures as well as to monitor and evaluate the impact of government interventions was done. The huge disparities and distortions in emoluments are exacerbated by the following. A, the existence of multiple uncoordinated negotiating points for salaries and conditions of service in the public service. Currently, there is no harmonized and unified framework for determining and approving salaries and conditions of service that takes into account the short, medium, and long-term socio-economic perspectives. B, the existence of numerous and complex pieces of legislation governing the determination of emoluments in the public service. C, the non-undertaking of job evaluations, which is a cornerstone of the principle of equal pay for equal work across the public service. And D, the lack of a system to link pay to performance and productivity. Information obtained by Cabinet Office in 2019 on salaries and conditions of service for statutory bodies and grant-aided institutions also revealed distortions, inequalities, anomalies, and inconsistencies in remuneration in institutions of similar mandates. For example, the percentage difference between the highest paid chief executive officer and the lowest paid chief executive officer was a whopping 73%. Madam Speaker, it is worth noting also that the Salaries Review Commission of 2010, the Public Service Pay Policy, and the Integrated Total Competitive Remuneration Strategy of 2012 to 2021 all recommended the establishment of an independent remuneration body. The operationalization of the Emoluments Commission, Madam Speaker, will be advantageous in the country as the Commission will A, establish a harmonized and unified framework for determining emoluments and eradicate wage discrepancies in state organs and state institutions. B, provide a rational, consistent, comprehensive, and systematic approach to improving the pay and incentives regime in order to enhance human and motivational capital across the public service while taking into account the development needs of the country. C, provide the neutrality and independence required to achieve equity and fairness and inspire confidence in the remuneration determination process. And D, provide oversight and coordinate the determination of emoluments of officers in a state organ and state institution. Madam Speaker, the salient provisions of the bill therefore operationalize the Emoluments Commission, provide the principles by which the determination of emoluments are governed, provide the period within which a review cycle is determined, and provide a procedure for the submission of proposals on emoluments by a relevant authority and the factors to be considered when preparing and submitting proposals. Madam Speaker, the bill is very progressive as it provides a legal framework for the operationalization of the Emoluments Commission. Additionally, the bill should be supported because it is a result of a wide stakeholder consultation process. I urge honorable members of this august House to wholeheartedly support it. Madam Speaker, I humbly support the bill and I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you. Her Honor, the Vice President, wind up debate.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the honorable members of this august House for supporting the bill, because silence means that we all do agree that there is need to harmonize, the salaries and the other conditions of service so that each institution is able to attract the very best officers. Madam, I thank you very much.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. All the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read a second time.
The Emoluments Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2022.
Committee stage to be taken when?
Tuesday, 29th March, 2022, Madam.
Thank you. Committee stage to be taken on Tuesday, 29th March, 2022. Next order.
The Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2022, second reading.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be read the second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Acting Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry.
Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity given to present my statement on the Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill of 2022. As you are aware, the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry is responsible for promoting the practice of marketing in Zambia through the Zambia Institute of Marketing. The Zambia Institute of Marketing was established under the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14 of 2003, which Act was enacted to supervise and promote the practice of marketing in Zambia. During the implementation of the Act, several lacunas and challenges have been identified that have negatively impacted the effective promotion and supervision of the marketing fraternity in Zambia. It is worth noting that the Act does not provide for adequate enforcement. This, therefore, necessitated the proposal to repeal and replace the 2003 Act. Considering how essential and critical the Zambia Institute of Marketing is to the business landscape in Zambia, the proposed new Act will address lacunas in the Act and ensure that the law adequately covers all aspects of marketing. Madam Speaker, you may wish to note that the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14 of 2003 is being repealed in order to redefine the powers and the functions of the Institute, that is, promote and enhance the marketing profession and provide for the mandatory registration of marketers and regulate their practice and professional conduct. The revision is necessary as it will strengthen the Institute's supervision and oversight over the marketing profession for it to effectively facilitate the implementation of the law. The revision is necessary as it will strengthen the Institute's supervision and oversight over the marketing profession for it to effectively facilitate the implementation of the law, like I mentioned earlier. Madam Speaker, the objectives of the bills are, but not limited to, the following. A, continue the existence of the Zambia Institute of Marketing and redefine its powers and functions. B, promote and enhance marketing profession. C, provide for the registration of marketers and regulate their practice and professional conduct. D, repeal and replace the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act of 2003. And then E, provide the matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. The Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill, Bill of 2022, once enacted, will continue being implemented by the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry through the continued existence of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. Madam Speaker, the marketing profession is very important to economic development, currently fragmented due to lack of networking, coordination across different government institutions. Enhanced regulation through the creation of this board will lead to an improved communication environment among other players. Madam Speaker, it is imperative that all major stakeholders in marketing are expected to work hand in hand with the Institute to achieve a coordinated and harmonized implementation marketing strategies. Institutions that have been identified as major stakeholders include the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, the Zambia Information and Communications affiliated to the Zambia.
Thank you.
This will ensure that all practitioners are well qualified and adhere to the code of practice in the marketing fraternity in order to promote marketing excellence. The bill also promotes ethical conduct among practitioners, as well as adhering to best practices on the global context by providing marketing knowledge, development, and interactive platforms for marketers. Madam Speaker, the Zambia Institute of Marketing has been empowered to charge fees for the application for registration as a marketer through a prescribed manner and form. This is envisaged that the Institute will use these monies for each operation, as its institution is not a grant-aided institution. There will be no cost implication towards the implementation of the bill to government because the Zambia Institute of Marketing is an autonomous body which funds its own activities. Madam Speaker, it is expected that once implemented, the bill will ensure that best practices in the marketing profession are adhered to. The bill will also protect consumers, customers, and businesses alike. This will in turn ensure that qualified marketers will assist to preserve marketing jobs to be prioritized for Zambians who are ably qualified to fill up such roles and hence promote job creation for Zambians. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, the repeal and replacement of the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act No. 14 of 2003 is in line with government's promise to ensuring professionalism in the different sectors. Therefore, the Zambia Institute of Marketing is positioned to contribute to national development by ensuring that the standards of marketing are upheld. Government is committed to staying on course in supporting the contribution of the private sector to the development of the country by continuously improving the business environment through provision of such important legislation. Madam Speaker, I would like to urge all the honorable members of this august House to fully support this bill. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. There is a point of order raised by the Honorable Member for Momba. Honorable Member for Momba, what is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. My point of order is based on our standing orders, number 207. That is the contempt of the House, which refers to an act, omission, or conduct which obstructs or impedes either the House or members or officers in the discharge of their duties. Madam Speaker, yesterday you did render a ruling on the 5 PF members of Parliament whose seats were nullified and were present in the House. And to that effect, after the ruling, you had guided that the 5 who were not there by then when we did the other ruling should also be suspended for 30 days with effect from yesterday. And Madam Speaker, unless if my eyes are failing me, from where I'm standing, Madam Speaker, I see one of the members.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Who, Madam Speaker, according to the list that which I have, and that is the ruling of yesterday, is one of those 5 members you mentioned. And allow me to read the last statement of your reading, where you said, I now order Mr. T. Chewe, MP, Mr. B. C. Rusambo, MP, Mr. M. Kafaya, MP, Mr. J. Malanji, MP, and Mr. L. Simumba, MP, to immediately leave the proceedings of the House on 30 days suspension. End of your sentence, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from where I'm standing, I see one J. Malanji in the House. And my question there, Madam Speaker, or my point of order, is as to whether this House is in order to allow Honorable Malanji to be in the House. Madam Speaker, I will lay this on the table and I seek your ruling. Thank you.
Like this, what do you say? Thank you, honorable members. With that evidence that has been laid on the table, I'll say that the honorable member who was mentioned yesterday to be among the 30 and has reported in the House today is out of order. So the honorable member, may you please leave the House? We'll check with our records.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a constitutional issue now.
We have not permitted you to leave, to say something. I have not permitted you to say something. Is it a point of order or what?
Yes, Madam Speaker. On the member who was just...
Honorable member.
It's not a point of order on a point of order.
Honorable member, you've already indicated that you want to raise a point of order on the member who has just raised the point of order, which is not permissible. You cannot raise a point of order on another point of order. Thank you. Order, honorable member. We proceed. We make progress. The question is that the bill be now read the second time. Any further debate? The chairperson of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters, the honorable member Fonkana.
Madam Speaker.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I didn't say stop. Please, you are supposed to continue.
Madam Speaker, the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters was tasked to scrutinize the Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2022, pursuant to its mandate as set out in the Standing Orders number 198 of the National Assembly Standing Orders of 2021. Madam Speaker, the bill seeks to, among other things, repeal and replace the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14 of 2003, which act provide for the registration of marketers and regulate their practice and professional conduct. Several lacunas and challenges have been identified in the implementation,
Madam Speaker.
In the implementation of the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14.
Order, honorable member. There is a point of order raised. What is your point of order, honorable member for Chama South?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this country, Zambia, in 1991, decided to be a democratic state, meaning, Madam Speaker, the type of governance the people of this country had chosen was that which allows multipartyism. Madam Speaker, I'm standing on this very important point of order in pursuant to our Standing Orders number 207, which talks about the contempt of the House. Madam Speaker, clearly the conduct of this House by the decision that has just been made, where Honorable Joe Malanji has been ordered to leave the House, when, Madam Speaker, I want to state, if you are to check the camera for members who protested here, I can guarantee you, Madam Speaker, that Honorable Joe Malanji was not around. he was not in the house. Then for the others, those 4 others, Madam Speaker, the procedure is that they should have also been made to exculpate themselves. They were not charged. They never appeared before the Standing Orders Committee. No one also raised on a point of order, but Madam Speaker, the House went ahead and made a decision. Is it the objective of the UPND government to run this parliament on their own without the opposition? Is the House in order to expel a member who never participated in a protest? He's been banned. And Madam Speaker, I heard the Minister of Justice also rising on a point of order, and is a Minister of Justice who is too familiar and well aware of the constitutional judgment, constitutional court judgment.
Order. You cannot rise. I think I already mentioned that you cannot have another point of order on another. So you are bringing 2 points of order. Can you be focused to your point
It's
of
on
order?
Honorable Joe Malanji. Honorable Joe Malanji, Madam Speaker, was not part of those who protested in front of your mess. But he has been chased from the House. Is the House in order to infringe on the privileges of its members? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Just for your information, we have the clerk's office who followed the normal procedure that is supposed to be taken when there is a problem in the House, that is contact. In the ruling that I had made on the 15th, was it on the 15th? The first ruling that I made regarding the same subject, it was clearly stated that the members were written to. Then what happened was there was a group response where the members all signed, but it was one group response, except for 2 members who opted to come up with their own individual responses. However, what I can say, Honorable Malanji, he is free to come back to the office or even to the office of the Speaker to air his grievance. No, because there's already evidence there, laid on the table, that he was told to leave the House yesterday. Among the 4 members that were, who had the ruling from Concord. So that is what we are saying. If he has got a grievance, he can come to the offices. So the Honorable Member at this point was out of order to be in the House. But he's free to come and air his grievances. I thank you. May the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee of National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters continue with the debate.
Madam Speaker, the bill seeks to, among other things, repeal and replace the Zambia Institute of Marketing
Honorable
Act.
Member, we are very sorry today. It's like your speech is disturbed. Honorable, there's a point of order from the Honorable Minister of Local Government. What is the point of order?
Madam, thank you for the opportunity to raise a point of order, which is pursuant to Rule number 226 of our standing orders. This point of order, among other things, serves to help the proceedings, particularly the presiding officer, to run the business of the House as it ought to run. And this standing order is pursuant to 226 and is challenging the decision of the chair. Madam, the point of order that was raised by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Momba has had a ruling rendered by yourself. What the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mukushi South just did, Chama South, I beg your pardon, just did was in total breach of this particular standing order, which I will quote. As you just made a ruling to ask the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nkana, Mr. Joseph Malanji, to fly away. And I will quote, challenging decision of the chair. A member who wishes to challenge the decision of the presiding officer shall move a substantive motion. At 2, the request to move the substantive motion shall be made in writing to the Speaker and shall state the grounds for the challenge. Number 3, the grounds upon which the challenge is based shall relate only to the decision of the presiding officer. At 4, the substantive motion shall be referred to the committee responsible for privileges of members for determination of the merit of the motion. Number 5, the motion shall be debated in the House unless the committee responsible for privileges of members resolve that the request has merit and the motion should be tabled for debate. At 6, the presiding officer against whom the substantive motion is moved shall not preside over the debate of the motion. In this case, yourself, Madam, who made the ruling to ask Honorable Malanji to go. At 7, if the decision of the member, if the decision a member wishes to challenge emanates from or is as a result of the decision the committee responsible for privileges of members, the Speaker shall, and mark the word shall, in consultation with the leaders of all political parties present in the House, appoint and refer to the challenge motion to a select committee for determination of the merit. It goes on and on. End of quote. Madam, what the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chama South did is unprecedented and completely out of sync with our proceedings of the House. Is in order to have stood up and give you a direct challenge, as he did, without following the dictates of the standing orders that govern our proceedings. I need your ruling on this matter.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that point of order, which all honorable members should have knowledge about, because it comes from our standing orders. And the honorable member for Chama knew very well what he was doing. He was challenging the decision that I made. And it says no one is supposed to challenge directly the Speaker in the manner that he did. So the honorable member for Chama was definitely out of order. That is Chama South. Honorable member, we should make progress. We've got a lot of work before us. Can I allow the honorable member, the chairperson of the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labor Matters, the honorable member for Nkana, proceed with minimum disturbances. The Honorable Member from Kana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that emphasis on minimum interruptions. I want to continue where I left. Madam Speaker, the bill seeks to, among other things, repeal and replace the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14 of 2003, which act provide for the registration of marketers and regulate their practice and professional conduct. Several lacunas and challenges have been identified in the implementation of the Zambia Institute of Marketing Act number 14 of 2003, which, according to the Zambia Institute of Marketing, have had a negative impact on the effective promotion and supervision of the marketing fraternity in Zambia. This necessitated the proposal to repeal and replace the Act, considering how essential and critical the marketing profession is to the business landscape in Zambia. The committee was informed that if enacted, the new act will help to ensure that the law adequately covers all aspects of the marketing profession and helps to set up enforcement of rules governing the subsector. Madam Speaker, the bill provides for the continued existence of the Zambia Institute of Marketing and redefines its powers and functions in order to promote and enhance the marketing profession. The continued existence of the Institute will provide a platform for the implementation of marketing strategies, improvement of business ethics, and enhancement of professionalism in the marketing fraternity. Madam Speaker, the bill provides for mandatory registration of qualified marketers who want to practice. Such marketers will be required to possess a valid practicing license issued by the Zambia Institute of Marketing. This is meant to ensure that all practitioners are well qualified and adhere to the code of ethics in the marketing fraternity in order to promote marketing excellence. However, the committee is concerned that this mandatory requirement may bar a number of marketers who may not be able to afford the registration fees. In addition, Madam Speaker, the requirement for registration do not take into account persons who may not, or rather who may have a natural talent for marketing. Madam Speaker, the committee notes that Clause 11.3 provides the requirement that one must meet in order to be registered as a member of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. One such requirement is that an applicant will be required to pass a membership examination administered by the Institute. This provision, Madam Speaker, is unnecessary, especially in view of Clause 11.3c, which requires an applicant to hold a marketing qualification that is recognized and validated by the Zambia Qualification Authority, ZAQA, before they can be registered as a member. The exam, Madam Speaker, will also add to increasing the cost of registration for applicants. The committee strongly recommends that this provision should be removed from the bill. Madam Speaker, an innovation that has been introduced in the bill is the creation of the Advertising Standards Board, which will regulate advertising standards in Zambia and ensure that marketers who wish to advertise goods and services meet certain standards. While this is a welcome inclusion, the committee notes that the board will comprise mainly public sector entities. This may result in the over-regulation of the advertising subsector. Advertising is about business growth and inducing customers. It is not about government supervision. It should therefore be private sector led. In this regard, the committee recommends that the composition of the board
should be changed to include more private sector entities. Madam Speaker, I have highlighted some of the issues that arose out of the committee's interrogation of the Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2022. I'm therefore confident that the honorable members that have read the committee's report, allow me to point out that the committee supports the bill subject to the observations and recommendations contained in the report. In conclusion, the committee supports the bill and wishes to thank all the stakeholders who made both written and oral submissions before it. The committee also wishes to place on record its gratitude for the guidance and support services rendered by the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the National Assembly throughout its deliberations. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Any further debate? The Honorable Member for Kankoyo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Kankoyo to air their view on this bill. Madam Speaker, I'm sure everyone can agree to say this is a non-contentious bill, which is meant to bring to speed the Zambia Institute of Marketing, which was established in 2003, which is 20 years ago. Hence, it has to reorganize itself to respond to the current changes in the market. I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Madam Minister, Honorable Minister, for the policy brief. The Zambia Institute of Marketing is a very, very important institution. Its role really is a professional regulator, to regulate the professional conduct. Yeah, it's a very important regulator, regulating the professional conduct of marketing professionals. Madam Speaker, this country has now experienced a lot of unprofessional conduct, where we find that the professionals, instead of being professional, they start doing dubious things in their course of work. The question that we have, what has happened to these critical institutions that are supposed to check the professional conduct? This bill, I support it, and it comes at the opportune time, where the President has made it very clear that for procurements, there are three aspects: quality, timeliness, and the price. And this will depend on the professional conduct of the professionals. So this bill sets to ensure that professionals behave in such a manner that they are above board. Madam Speaker, we have so many bogus professional people in these institutions, and that is why in the past 10 years, there has been a lot of underhand methods, because such institutions did not do their part, did not regulate their professionals whom they register. If I had my own way, Madam Speaker, I was going to call for qualification audit in this country, because some of these professionals are actually bogus, meaning they are not qualified, they are not competent, they don't have the relevant qualification. Some of their qualifications are gotten from University of Matero. But it takes the professional like them to ensure that their members, when they are registering them, they are qualified. My appeal, if I had my way, is to do a qualifications audit in this country, so that each and every individual must account where they got this, their qualifications. We have a lot of people that have qualifications from Matero, and we cannot continue as a country. That's why our economic development is hindered by bogus professionals. It is hindered by bogus professionals. So this bill is coming at the opportune time, so that we can strengthen the regulatory function of Zambia Institute of Marketing. However, there is a small concern on the bill. If we look at G says conduct learning programs accredited by the Higher Education Authority in marketing. Now, that has the potential to make Zambia Institute of Marketing a jury and a judge, because that provision, if they use it, it means they will train, they will assess, and give certificates. And after giving these certificates, the same ZIM will go the other side to register professionals. That is a contradiction. Quality assurance ensures that one does the act, the other one monitor. The role of professional institutions like ZIM is to regulate professional conduct, not to trade, not to assess, examine, and give certificates. That should not be their role. And if you look at the on end of the functions of ZIM, they need to enforce continuous professional development. That is their mandate. That is their bedrock, because professional institutions must ensure that their members are up to date in terms of knowledge, skills, and values. But if they venture into the other side, they shouldn't be the judge and the jury. Madam Speaker, I support this bill because this is what will bring professionalism in Zambia, in marketers. Just the other day, the Honorable Member of Parliament, the Honorable Minister of Health was complaining about some professionals doing short things and employing. The question I have, where is the professional bodies? When such a thing and their members, they are abrogating their professional ethics with impunity, where are the professional bodies? Colleagues, professional bodies, we need to strengthen your bill like the ZIM, so that once there is a professional misconduct, the law must take its part, so that such professionals are removed from the register of the professional body. Very important bill that we need at this point of our economic development. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Katuba.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to support the bill, the Zambia Institute of Marketing bill. Madam Speaker, I want to raise 3 things that I feel are critical in supporting this bill and ensure that the smooth operationalization of the bill is going to bring sanity in the marketing profession. Madam Speaker, the first thing I want to talk about is how ethics are quickly evading professionals if they are not registered in any professional body. The Zambia Institute of Marketing needs to be at the top to ensure that ethics are contained within the individuals and professionals that are going to practice in this profession. There is a temptation in most cases to rush for the top line and abandon the ethics that go with the profession. As you know, Madam Speaker, marketers are the revenue generators in the organizations and in the country. They are the people that expose products and services, and sometimes there could be a rush in ensuring that the top lines are achieved without looking at the standards and profession. And this bill tries to bring those ethics and professions to be contained. The second, Madam Speaker, is the bill is trying to regulate the advertising standards. I think over the years we have seen.
Order, Honorable Member. There is a point of order raised by the Honorable Member for Lukulu East. What is your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I'm very, very sorry. I think I've pressed by mistake. You may wish to ignore it and I will log out soon. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Katuba may continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I was talking about the advertising standards and that the bill tries to entrench in the advertising standards a lot of ethics and a lot more of standards that are going to protect the consumers. Over the years, Madam Speaker, we have seen how the advertising standards have deteriorated, mainly to rush to capture the purchase power of the customer. However, in doing so, sometimes marketers have ignored the ethics and the issues that deal with protecting both the consumer and more especially the children. We have seen sometimes adverts that are designed without a concern of how children are involved in the advertising that are being placed on all the media platforms. This is going to bring sanity and ensure that even the exaggerations and the promises that are given in advertising are those that you could demand, because when you are promised through an advert, a customer has the right to demand the promise that is contained in the advert. So it's a very good move that we are going to bring advertising standards that are going to ensure that all advertisers seek to be within the standards of these advertising platforms. The third, Madam Speaker, that I would like to talk about is the protection of both the employers and the consumers, and maybe even the general public. This bill will protect the employers by ensuring that scrupulous marketers are not engaged, because it will be illegal to engage these people. Many of the times, Madam Speaker, we have seen adverts in newspapers of employers looking for people that were employed as marketers, and after certain behaviors, they've run away and they report them to the police. This is going to be an assurance to the employers that those that they are employing have a fixed board, because the Zambia Institute of Marketing will have registered all their contacts and contents, and they can find them whenever they want to find them. But more also to the consumers, it is a guarantee for the consumer that whatever is going to come on board, that marketers are going to take to the market, is something that will have stood the test of time, that will have tested, and that it qualifies to be sold on the Zambian market. Madam Speaker, I stand to support this bill, because supporting this bill is protecting the consumer, is protecting the child, is protecting the general public, it's protecting the employer, and above all, it is bringing competitiveness not only to the marketing profession, but the country at large. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Acting Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry wind up debate.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Committee on National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters, and in response, the Chairperson, Honourable Member of Parliament from Nkana. Madam Speaker, I took note of a few concerns which were raised. Probably to summarize them, Madam Speaker, the issue of an examination to be admitted to the Zambia Institute of Marketing has been taken note of. And obviously, on the creation of the advertising board, Madam Speaker, a small matter of having public sector heavily involved in the advertising board will be looked into.
Order, Honourable Minister. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for health break.
Parliamentary television, the House has taken a break. Business resumes at 17 hours. And on the floor of the House was the Acting Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Honorable Sikumba, winding up debate on the Zambia Institute of Marketing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2022, which is coming up at second reading stage. Earlier on, another bill that has been read the second time is the Emoluments Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2022. It was read the second time, and committee stage will be taken next week on Tuesday, the 29th of March 2022. Earlier on, we did have a ministerial statement by Her Honor the Vice President on measures being undertaken to provide relief food to Petawuke District and other hunger-stricken areas. Just now we take a break. Stay tuned.
Following the coalition of African parliamentarians against HIV and AIDS, CAPA, One Health for Economic Development Business Fundraising Dinner at Government Complex, which was graced by the Republican Vice President Mrs. W.K. Mutalina Lumango, MP, Grizzly Mining has come on board to support CAPA in its drive to achieving the One Health for Economic Development agenda and has made a donation of a Toyota Land Cruiser motor vehicle. In receiving the donation, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma, Minister of Defense and CAPA Chairperson, assured Grizzly Mining that the vehicle will be put to good use.
As CAPA, we are in the business of going to various constituencies throughout this country. We sensitize communities on HIV and AIDS. And even now, we are actually involved in COVID sensitization and ensuring that the communities that we visit, one, get immunized if they haven't got those jabs, and two, they keep to the 5 golden rules. And so we do a lot. Now we are taking on even TB and other communicable diseases sensitization. And so this asset that you have given us will go a long way in ensuring that CAPA's objective is achieved. And so I would like to take this opportunity to ask you not to tire, to ask other companies to emulate you, and so that organizations like CAPA can be able to more or less ensure that their objectives are achieved.
Earlier, handing over the vehicle to CAPA at Parliament grounds, Ms. Caroline Sampa, Grizzly Mining General Manager, found pleasure in honoring the pledge to support CAPA programs as part of their corporate social responsibility.
It is my honor and pleasure to do this honorable task of fulfilling the pledge that Grizzly Mining made during the CAPA fundraising dinner of a donation of a Land Cruiser valued at 1 million kwacha. Grizzly Group of Companies is 100% Zambian-owned group of companies, and Grizzly is involved in a lot of corporate social responsibility programs. Over the years that we've been in existence, we've constructed schools in areas that we operate in. We've constructed clinics in areas that we operate in. We maintain the roads annually in the areas that we operate in. And we do give assistance to the chiefs in whose areas we operate from. We provide them with transport and other requisites that arise from time to time. Therefore, it was a great honor when Kappa approached us and requested for a donation of a hard-body Land Cruiser, and we felt that we could make it as part of our CSR to donate this Land Cruiser.
Kappa is a board of voluntary and committed law and policy makers who are champions on the advocacy for human, animal health and environmental sustainability under the call One Health. With this support, it is hoped that Kappa will step out the outreach program in order to sensitize the public on the call to the One Health agenda.
When there is an activity, when there is funding, that's when they will go to a lodge or a hotel and look at the files. Meanwhile, those files of employees have been in their offices for more than 2 years. Someone is not confirmed. Someone is not promoted. So this body needs support. And we should not look at this body to be only a body where they'll be receiving fees for the membership. We want to see them actually monitor, regulate the practice of human resource in this country. For our country to develop, we need a motivated human resource personnel. And this can only happen when our human resource officers charged with the responsibility, they're up to the game, to the expectation of the new Dawn government. I submit, Madam Speaker. I support this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There is a point of order raised by the Honorable Member for Lumezi. What is your point of order, Honorable Member?
Thank you so very kind, Madam Speaker, and permit the good people of Lumezi to raise on a point of order pursuant to 206, dress code for members of Parliament, and particularly clause 2, 206 clause 2, the official dress for a female member shall be a formal dress, formal executive suit, either with a skirt below the knee or a pair of trousers, or a decent traditional attire, such as a formal chitenge outfit with long or short sleeve musisi. Madam Speaker, if we interrogate the skirt that the Honorable Member for Kembe constituency is putting on, is that of a high mama. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
It's okay. The Honorable Member, I think, are you putting on something above the knee or below? Okay. Pardon? Oh, okay. Honorable member, no. Order so that I make the ruling. The deputy chief whip is not out of order. That is an American suit, and it looks decent. I thank you. Who's the next one? The next one is the honorable member for Zambezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to debate the bill that is on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, from the outset, I'd like to support the bill, especially the fact that it is one that is concerned with one of the most important factors of production, human resource. Human resource being very important, it needs utmost attention in every institution and every setup of business in this world. This institution, for example, the National Assembly of Zambia, is complemented by carefully selected and qualified personnel. And that's the reason to why the institution is so efficient and effective in its work. I'm citing that just as an example. Therefore, this actually is important because such a very important part of doing business must be regulated. Regulation of which must be contained in our laws in the country and enhancing the same laws. And what we are rightly doing today is to enhance those laws that regulate this noble profession and very important profession. We've heard how so many complaints come, especially in the public service, that we have a complement of human resource practitioners in these institutions. However, we have so many challenges faced by line ministries, departments, and many other public institutions because these professionals are not well regulated in the absence of such pieces of legislation. It is indeed welcome, and it's coming at the right time when the new Dawn administration would like to enforce performance and utmost performance in the public service. Therefore, this bill is coming at the right time. And this sitting being one which is looking at actually refining the pieces of legislation to complement what we appropriated in the budget meeting in the previous sitting is very, very important. Madam Speaker, I'll just mention a few words on the regulation of the profession. Indeed, your committee has lamented that some stakeholders, especially those who submitted before the committee, expressed some concern in terms of the cost implications of those stringent measures that are being set out by this piece of legislation. It is worth noting, Madam Speaker, that the Honorable Minister must take note of these comments that are made by these stakeholders because organizations are at different levels of economic stance, especially the fact that we created a new ministry of small and medium scale enterprise development. We can't bring in again another law which is going to stifle the growth of such initiatives. We should therefore find some meeting point where some institutions will be exempted in order for them to grow. They can employ somebody that can work in that role, appropriately trained, but then we should put a threshold in such organizations which are big conglomerates and big institutions which really require these professionals to be regulated by the law. They can be subjected to the provisions of that piece of legislation. So we should take care, in as much as we roll out this piece of legislation, that that is taken care of, and we need to listen to the stakeholders that submitted before your committee, Madam Speaker. Human resource as a profession is really another peculiar profession which is found in almost each and every institution. There is no institution that does not have human resource. If there is no human resource in an institution, then the institution doesn't exist. Therefore, this piece of legislation affects each and every institution of this economy in this country. That being the case, it is such a very important piece of legislation which needs to receive utmost attention and must be refined to the point. We don't need to miss it at the outset. We need to ensure that we pay attention to all the submissions that have been made. Therefore, we need to move with the people and with those who understand the profession itself, including those responsible for training human resource practitioners. We need to listen to everyone who has submitted to your committee. In that way, we would be coming up with a piece of legislation that will stand the test of time. Because we should not pass a piece of legislation and soon or later it should be begging for another amendment. We need to be very careful in implementing this. Talking about regulation, I come from an institution also, an institute, which regulates my profession, the Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants. Therein, of course, it is well regulated. I would suggest that the Zambia Institute of Human Resource must support its members the way some of these institutions support, especially the one I've just cited where I come from. I know, Madam Speaker, we are not allowed to debate ourselves in this house, but I'm trying to use it to cite as an example. My last job, which I got before I came to this house as a member of parliament, was actually gotten for me by the Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants, where I was headhunted. So it is such institutions which identify talent because they know the people, the practitioners in that profession. Therefore, let that institution be one which will support even the professionals that are trained in there. A lot has gone into training these people, and therefore, we need to also know where to place them. Madam Speaker, with these few words, I thought I could complement what the Minister has already rolled out in the policy statement as I support the bill. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Ron.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honourable Minister, and the committee that worked tirelessly to come up with this report. Madam Speaker, as it has been said, that so many atrocities have been committed through the human resource body. Indeed, I stand to support this bill to be amended. Madam Speaker, we are all aware as parliamentarians that the new Dawn government is mapping out to increase production into the mining sector from 800,000 to 3 million metric tons per year. This calls for more human resource. And as such, Madam Speaker, we can safely say that the human resource personnel is a very, very vital component in our country in terms of production, which adds to the GDP. Madam Speaker, this is a very, very important institution. I would want to say that we have seen a lot of strikes, ghost laws, and other negative effects that goes on, not only in parastatal institutions, but even in private sectors. Madam Speaker, the causes of most of these strikes points to the human resource managers. And as such, we want to give a sound mandatory legal framework to this institution so that it can have a biting teeth to all its members. We want the human resource management to start employing and having people with competency, good professionalism, and disciplinary on their books. Madam Speaker, it is very common today that many human resource managers are actually setting very, very bad precedences. You cannot get employed unless otherwise you have to pay something to a human resource manager. And this is what we are saying we should not allow. When we are talking about corruption, it should not just be on the top. Corruption should be get ridden of at all areas of our life endeavors. And as such, we want human resource management institution to get rid of all these negative vices. And once we do this, we should be actually increasing the levels of production in our country. We should be increasing ethical standards in the institution. Just like the previous speaker said, we want to see human resource management institution to be in the forefront sometimes, even recruiting on behalf of institutions, on behalf of government, on behalf of parastatal companies. We are tired and sick of hearing human resource managers, Madam Speaker, being accused of the negative vices. That does not add value to the institution. We do not want to go on and on explaining what some of us have actually encountered with some of the human resource managers. But what we are saying is it is important that we support this amendment, Madam Speaker, for the betterment of the institution. We need to give them more power to regulate their members. We need to give them room to regulate their members. And once we do this, Madam Speaker, there will be sanity in the institution. We also want to ensure that the institution itself is also clean of any vices, to set as an example to all those that would want to join this institution. There are so many human managers today, Madam Speaker. If we were to do a survey or if you were to do a search, you would find that most people who are practicing this human resource management managers are not even supposed to be there. They do not even have qualifications. But how come they find themselves in practicing such important roles? That is why, as I have said, we are facing a lot of work stoppages, which the minister alluded to, which actually affects negatively the production levels in such institutions. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the amendment of this bill, and I can hope that once this is done, we shall be able to see sanity, we shall be able to see the levels of work stoppages reducing drastically in our work institutions. With these few words, Madam Speaker, I would want to thank you for allowing me to add the voice on this bill. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Matero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And as writing my notes here, allow me to quickly just to commend the government for bringing bills. Indeed, we are here to draw bills, to repeal outdated bills and bring up new ones in line with the new trend. On the topic here, the Zambia Institute of Human Resource, I must say I've seen the Minister of Labor doing on-site labor checks, and I commend her for that. But, Madam Speaker, on this Zambia Institute, Human Resources, I, Mao Sampa, I have a problem with institutes which I want to call just another toothless institute, whose only feature, Madam Speaker, is before long we'll just see members of this institute, just like many institutes that we have in this country. We just see members with pot bellies, and at the expense, I'm not a representative of any institute, at the expense of the people that institute is supposed to represent. These institutes, I want to actually to call them end-of-year party institutes. Their preoccupation is planning the end-of-year party, the Christmas party, end-of-year party, who shall we invite? And they forget why they are there. Whichever institute, name it, marketing, labor, but more importantly, Madam Speaker, to this labor institute, because of what I'll call the background, Madam Speaker. The background, what is in this country, Madam Speaker, and it started a long time ago, from UNIP, MMD, PF, and even now. Madam Speaker, our laborers out there are abused. That's why I thought the bill that was urgent is a bill that was going to strengthen the welfare of our laborers out there, not an institute whose top management of that institute, as soon as they're in that institute, they get their job as director of this company or bank, they forget about the people they represent. Madam Speaker, out there, and I speak from history, I speak as a victim myself, where one of the bosses I worked for at a farm used to call me with an F word. And with time, I thought that was normal in Zambia. I was young then. I also picked it up. So even me, when I became boss, I thought it was normal to use it. But then I've learned it's actually derogatory. Our Zambian laborers out there, the majority, Madam Speaker, are working for companies owned by foreigners who use the F word on them, who abuse them. I thought what was urgent was a bill to strengthen the powers that our people have in these institutions. Yes, somebody mentioned that Parliament, I must commend Parliament. I've worked everywhere, Madam Speaker, in banks, at farms, corporate institutions, in government, at councils. I've been perplexed when I've come to this institution. The workers here are very professional. But out there, maybe it's because the members give them checks and balances. But out there, our people, 80% of our Zambian laborers are defenseless. And this is non-political. This is the reality out there. They have no one to speak for them. There is a legislation for a minimum wage that is existing, that each employee, each labor, each worker, be it a domestic worker, should be paid a minimum of 1,200 kwacha. I've seen it, I interact with people. Some of these foreigners, they pay our Zambian workers as low as 600 kwacha per month. It's somebody with a family. The institutes that are there now are not, we cannot ask the labor minister to be everywhere in the country to police that. What we need is a bill that will protect our Zambian people out there so that they stop getting abused and being called names. And those who have gone to work in the diaspora in Europe and in America, they get abused there. They get called monkeys. And then those employers from Europe, the whites, when they come here in Zambia, even here in Zambia, they call them monkeys. Not sure if they still call them monkeys or rats. Point is, it's okay for a Zambian to be abused out there because they went there in America or USA. But here in their own country, somebody has come just because their skin is white and the worker is black and they abuse them. So I think that's what is urgent in this country. Laws to protect the Zambian workers, not the up management level. These unions are there. I've worked in institutions where there are unions, and I know how unions operate. Just the top man there gets tipped by this foreigner, and then he goes, he misrepresents the needs there. He gets a kickback from the owner of this company and goes and tells the laborers to keep quiet or victimizes the one that is talking. So all of them have been taught to cow down and suffer in their own country. So this matter of labor laws, this bill is very important, of marketing, but not important to me. The bill that's important is one that will empower the Zambian workers out there. And there are many gardeners, laborers, those working at brick-making companies. For some reason, all those companies are owned by foreigners. Those working in shops at Kamwala, in town, they are highly abused, but they have no voice. It's us here in this house to make laws, to protect them, to whistleblow. When they speak out, they should not be fired. We need to put those laws in place and encourage them to speak out. Put structures where they can run to in each district, the same way we have DCs. Put structures in each district. In Shangombo there, if a worker is abused, where can they go? Do they know where to find the labor minister? It's not practical. So there has to be whistleblowing entities in there for them so that they know where to go and complain, and so that these foreigners that are abusing the Zambian workers, We need the foreigners, we need the investors. What we don't need are infestors, those who are abusing the Zambian worker. A good investor respects the Zambian worker. So, Madam Speaker, I'm reluctant to support this bill. It's a very good bill, but I will not support it because there's an urgent matter out there of our laborers being abused by non-Zambians who are employing them, and we need to put up bills that will support them. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, we are behind time. So at this point, I'll ask the Honorable Minister of Labor and Social Security to wind up debate so that we cover the other bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to thank all the members, the honorable members who have made a contribution. And we are particularly appreciative of the fact that the bill has generated a lot of interest, and the input that is coming through is very important to finalizing and sharpening the bill to be responsive to the issues that the members are raising. I will highlight a few particular points that have come from the honorable members, starting from the chair, Honorable Mpundu, the committee chairperson, the concerns about the numerous inspections and stringent regulations that are contained in the bill. I would like to assure him that this is the essence, him and the committee, that this is the essence of the bill. It seeks to effectively regulate the profession so that they are able to respond to the needs of the workplace, creating that harmony and diminishing the disharmony. On the issue of honorary secretary, the omission is noted and will be rectified. On the sanctions that are provided for in the bill, they've been worked out in consistency with the similar professions or bodies, which include ZICA, the Engineering Institute, the Law Association of Zambia. We had to benchmark with those ones and ensure that we are in line with what is on the market already. Number 4, supports the bill. Thank you very much for that support. From Honorable Nyambose, MP, Chasefu. He is concerned about the long confirmation, low productivity. These are some of the effects, of course, of having unqualified human resource practitioners. And this is what the bill seeks to cure. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member for Ron, Honorable Chibwe, on increasing production in the mining sector by increasing HR, human resource, and improving the qualifications. He notes the strikes that go on and many more of the issues and concerns of the industry that this bill seeks to cure. He predominantly supports the bill and makes suggestions that should help us to refine further. Thank you, Honorable Member. And for Honorable Miles Sampa, Honorable Member for Matero, he expresses reservation. Thank you for that as well, Honorable Member. You expressed reservations, your aversion to his aversion to toothless institutes that may be good on paper but may not deliver to the real needs of the worker. The bill assured, Madam Speaker, seeks to create a strong and efficient regulator that will be on the ground. And that's why the inspections are one of the provisions to ensure that follow-ups are made out, to ensure that workers' rights are protected. Madam Speaker, with these few words, I'd like to thank you and thank all the members that have made a contribution. I submit.
Thank you. I put the question The question is that the bill be read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. All the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read a second time.
The Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2022.
Committee stage to be taken when?
Madam Speaker, Tuesday, 29th of March, 2022.
Committee stage to be taken on Tuesday, 29th March, 2022. Next order.
The Social Workers Association of Zambia Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2022, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Community Development and Social Services.
I beg to move that the bill be read a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Community Development and Social Services.
Madam Speaker, I thank you most sincerely for this opportunity to present the Social Worker Association of Zambia Bill for the second reading in this August House. Further, I wish to appreciate the honorable members of the Committee on Health, Community Development, and Social Services for their steadfast effort in ensuring that the bill is brought to this stage. It is my earnest desire that we proceed from here and see the bill finally enacted. The Social Workers Association of Zambia Bill has been developed with the aim of facilitating the coordination, design, and enforcement of the best practices for training and practice for social work in Zambia. The association was registered as the Social Workers Association of Zambia, SWAZ, in 2006. In accordance with the Registrar of Societies Act Cap 119 of the laws of Zambia. The mandate of the association is to promote the social work profession in Zambia by maintaining the highest professional standards of practice in accordance with core values of the profession and code of ethics, which include 1, service, 2, social justice, 3, respect, 4, relationship building, 5, integrity, 6, advocacy, and confidentiality. Madam Speaker, social workers play an integral role in counseling and supporting individuals and families who are at risk of being marginalized for various reasons. They specialize in improving the well-being of the most vulnerable population, which includes children, women, youth, persons with disabilities, persons with mental health issues, among others. As such, social workers need to be equipped with a solid educational background, ethical knowledge, as well as proper certification and licensing skills in order to properly deal with clients' needs. Create appropriate intervention plans, monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of interventions with high standards of professionalism. Madam Speaker, the enactment of the bill will give legal framework and recognition of social work as a profession, regulates the conduct of social workers in the country, provide for certification of practicing social workers, student social workers, and auxiliary or parasocial workers, help set and monitor standards of social work training and practice in the country. Enhance collaboration with the Higher Education Authority to promote higher education and training standards for social work in Zambia, while ensuring that effective local problem-solving methods are incorporated in the program. Facilitate the standardization of social work training in Zambia. Mandate the professional body with powers to enhance the social work code of ethics. And lastly, promote advocacy for policies that promote the well-being of all persons, especially those living in poverty and are vulnerable. Madam Speaker, Zambia is faced with a lot of problems. As such, people committing suicide, crimes of passion, committed by aggrieved partners, high incidences of defilement, gender-based violence, violence against children, parental neglect, divorce, alcohol abuse, juvenile delinquency, among others. The enactment of the bill will therefore enhance mechanisms aimed at addressing these challenges. Madam Speaker, my ministry wishes to acknowledge and appreciate observations and recommendations made on the bill by various stakeholders during consultations made by the Committee on Health, Community Development and Social Services. These have further refined the bill and addressed the issues raised. They include, but are not limited to, defining the functions and powers of the association, as well as extend the scope of the provision of registration to student social workers, and auxiliary social workers under the title of the bill. The inquiry into legal capacity of social workers will be undertaken by mental health practitioners and not just health practitioners, as proposed in the bill. Madam Speaker, further, concerns have been raised about social workers who have been practicing social work but do not have a diploma proposed as the standard level for one to qualify as a social worker. Under the bill, the House may wish to know that the ministry, being an employer of this category, and one of the largest serviced by community volunteers who are informal social workers, has ensured the